Me, I'm dishonest. And a dishonest man you can always trust to be dishonest. Honestly. It's the honest ones you want to watch out for.
Alright, and getting into the first skin, we are going to be doing Bilgewater Swain, and a huge amount of wasted potential on this skin. Unfortunately, it does have the same coloring as the base skin, so it's all red, and those are the easiest skills to see, so you're not going to see a marginal increase in your ability to hit spells like some of the other skins. Overall, I like the aesthetic is really cool of the skin. You have a really nice accent on the back that's kind of looks like parrot feathers, and when you feed the birds, they are coming out as parrots, but outside of that, it is a rather boring skin in my opinion, and just a huge amount of wasted opportunity. So with the particle effects and the just big swing and a miss and the red coloring, we're just gonna have to put this skin in the C tier list. And getting into Northern Front Swain, now this is definitely one of my favorite skins. I think it is absolutely amazing. I love the whole aesthetic of the Grizzled General with the eye patch and the stars indicating a 4-star general on his shoulders, and the whole Russian look is really, really cool. Even with his breath, it's coming out like he's in a cold area. And then most importantly, if you're looking for a little bit of increase in a gameplay, it is a very marginal, but you are going to be able to land more abilities, in my opinion, when you are throwing these abilities out, because blue is a very, very easily hidden type of color that matches the river. It matches a bunch of different areas, and it is a lot. It's not going to be as easy to react to as some of the red animations, but again, with these skins, I would just say it's maybe a 1 to 3% increase of landing your skill shots when using these kind of colorings of skins. It is just a strong overall skin. I love the aesthetic. I love the coloring. I like that it's harder to see, particularly in the river, and I think it is a overall great skin. So we are going to be putting the Northern Front Swain in the S tier.
Mit Verlogen sogar die SS! Die gesamte Generalität ist nichts weiter als ein Haufen niederträchtiger, treuloser Feiglinge!
Mein Führer, ich kann nicht zulassen, dass die Soldaten, die für Sie verbringen...
Nicht als Feiglinge! Verreiter, Versager!
Mein Führer, was Sie da sagen, ist ungeheuerlich!
Die Generalität ist das Geschmeiß des deutschen Volkes! Sie ist ohne Ehre!
Okay, and getting into Tyrant Swain, now this is the first skin that I ever bought on Swain, and I absolutely love it. I love the coloring, I love the aesthetic as just some evil raven demon that has come to life to absolutely destroy people. There's a lot of really cool accents with this green, and as you can see, when you ult, you just become this weird bird demon that is just really, really crazy to look at. Overall, the green is going to be really hard to see, particularly when you're in kind of the jungle, as well as when you're around the bot lane. It's going to be a lot harder to react to an E, particularly if you're throwing from bush to bush from fog. It's going to be extremely difficult for the enemies to see this E, but again, it is very marginal, maybe a 1 to 3% higher chance of landing these. But overall, I think this skin is absolutely just a worth your money if you are really heavily invested into Swain and you like buying skins. There's a lot of really cool things that come out of this. There's even the green ravens. It is just a really, really cool aesthetic. So we are going to be putting Tyrant Swain in the A tier. Alright, and getting into Dragon Master Swain. Now this, you can really tell that they put a lot of work into this Swain skin. They have chromas with a bunch of different colors, and they have a lot of really cool particle effects with this. As you can see, the E turns into a dragon, the W, a bunch of dragons are floating around, and when you go into your ult form, you actually turn into a dragon, and your Q comes out of your mouth like you are spitting fire. So essentially, this is just a absolutely amazing skin. Unfortunately, it is a orange particle effect that's going to be coming out, so it is going to be a little bit easier to see. If you are just really trying to min-max, I don't think this is the skin for you, but if you just love playing really cool looking skins, I think this is just one of the best looking skins. So unfortunately, with the particle effects, we're going to be putting this in B tier. However, this is really worth your money if you are just looking to play a really cool skin, because I think that this is one of the most detailed skins, and it is one of your only options when you are looking into a chroma type of Swain skin.
For the era of magic.
Hextech. For the era of Hextech.
Hextech Swain, probably one of the most desired skins because of how expensive it can be to just flat out buy and get a bunch of gemstones. However, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I was able to farm the gemstones just from random chests, and then finally bought it over, like, I don't know, the course of around a year, and I always really wanted this skin, but once I got it, it was just kind of lackluster. I found myself after maybe a day not even playing it anymore, just going Northern Front or Tyrant or Crystal Roses wasn't out back then, but just going those two skins. The blue is really nice, so it's going to be harder for the enemies to see, particularly in the river, and it is a decent skin. However, I just don't really like the aesthetic too much. Even when you just kind of turn into this weird looking like Meccano bird. I guess I'm not the biggest fan of the Hextech skin line. I'm going to end up putting it in the B tier. It is harder to see animations, but just overall, I don't really like the looks too much. It looks just too much like so many other champions outside of like the weird monocle. It just looks like it could be pretty much any other like male champion that is a mage outside of the kit. It just doesn't really have too many like strong defining characteristics, and the W is just a huge example of what it is. It's just a waste of a gemstone that's exploding on your W's. I wish I would have just kept those 10 gemstones and never bought this skin. So we're going to be putting it in a B just because of the particle effects being a little bit harder to see than some of your other skin options. All right, and getting into Crystal Rose. Now, this is the best skin, in my opinion, for min-maxers. It is the hardest to see particle effects on your abilities. So for that reason alone, it is going to get an S tier, because whenever I'm tryharding, I'm usually playing this Crystal Rose skin. Also, it's nice that it has a couple different chroma options. However, where it kind of falls short, in my opinion, is it doesn't really fit the whole Noxus general aesthetic. It's just kind of, I don't know. It isn't as cool as running around like some like grizzled Russian general or some tyrannical raven demon spawn, or just like someone that is a master of dragons. It's just kind of this fluffy like Disney character-esque skin, but essentially this is the skin if you're really trying to climb as far as possible when playing Swain, in my opinion. And that will wrap up this skin, putting it in the S tier.
I have the vision to see what others cannot. The monsters of today will be the heroes of tomorrow. And by my hand will Noxus rise once more.
All right, and getting into the base skin, we are just right off the bat, this is going to be an F tier. In my opinion, it just reminds me of the rework and the glorious old Swain that they took away from us. It has the worst particle effect coloring as well with the red, so it has no help there. It unfortunately, he has a weird looking haircut in this one, and I just like absolutely nothing about the base skin. The back of his cloak looks kind of cool, like when you're not even looking at him. Like, it looks kind of fancy from the back, but it's just an absolute terrible skin. I never use the base skin when playing Swain. If I can manage it, if I'm on an old account without skins, obviously you have to play it, but I like absolutely nothing about this skin, and I think it is the worst for min-maxing. It's not cool at all, and it just is reminding you of the first time when you saw a picture of Swain like this is when they took away the old Swain from us and gave us this rework that don't get me wrong, Swain is definitely one of my favorite champion to play, but I mean, obviously I would love to play old Swain 10 times more than this new Swain iteration. That'll wrap up the video, guys. Please remember to like and subscribe, and as always, take it easy.